Okay, good morning. We're starting now Masechta Bava Kamah, a brand new Masechta, a brand new Seder. We finished now Seder Nashim, and we're going to start now Seder Nezikin. Now, Bava Kamah literally means the first gate. Why is it the first gate? Because it's the first gate of three gates. You have Bava Kamah, Bava Metzia, and Bava Basra. According to some Shittas in the Gemara, really all the Masechtas are one Masechta. And just the way it's split up now, it's three different Masechtas, but really it's really the same thing. Now, we're going to be learning the first Mishnah that speaks about Arba Obis Nezikin, that there are four primary categories of the Zikin. What does that mean in practical terms? That means that there are four times the Torah speaks. The Torah speaks here, guys, it's what Gemara is here. The Torah speaks about four times different types of damages. What are the four damages in the Torah? So the Torah speaks about the damage of shade, of an ox. Now, in an ox itself is a machlekes, what ox means. We're going to learn on Daf Gimel Amud Beis. It's a machlekes between Rab and Shmuel. Rab says share means little ox, but in ox there's three different categories. You have keren, shen, and regel, which means when the animal damages either with its horns, with its teeth, or with its feet, that is an av of shade. That's part of what share means. And Shmuel is going to tell us, we're going to learn tonight, Shmuel is going to tell us that when the Mishnah says shade, it means only shen, only with the teeth. Okay? So that's the first av. Then we're going to speak about bar, what bar means, mava and hever. Now, the Masechta speaks about the damages between if a person damages somebody or a person's money damages somebody, and we're going to learn what the Torah speaks about direct damage, what a tulda, a derivative, etc. So let's begin. The Mishnah says, Arba always Nezikin. There are four primary categories of Nezikin. Now, what does that mean? Like we said, that means that the Torah speaks four times of different damages. What's the first damage? Hashed. This is the damage of an ox. And like we said, an ox is a machlekes Rab and Shmuel. Rab says ox means keren, shen, and regel. And Shmuel is going to tell you that sher means only a regel. And the category of a pit. What does it mean, the category of a pit? If somebody goes and actually digs a pit, we're going to see in Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah, and somebody gets hurt over there, so the person who dug the pit is going to be chayiv for the damage. And veha mave. Mave literally means, we're going to discuss in the Gemara what does mave mean, but machlekes between Rav and Shmuel. Rav will tell you it's mave means the person who damages, Adam hamazik, the person who damages, and Shmuel is going to tell you that this is shen. So again, sher, I have a machlekes with Rav and Shmuel what that means. Rav is going to tell you it means keren, shen, and regel. Shmuel is going to tell you that sher means regel. And when it comes to mave, Rav is going to tell you mave means the person who damages, and Shmuel is going to tell you no, that mave means shen. And va'ever, and the category of fire. If somebody goes ahead and lights a fire and damages somebody, he's chayiv. Now, why do we call this ovais? So Rashi says, that's very important, Rashi, ovais kari lahanef t'ksivim b'kra b'hedu. When the Torah says clearly about these damages, that's called the av. If the Torah does not say it clearly, it's called a tulda. Now, where does the Torah say this? So, we're going to learn this Daf Beis Amud Beis, but the first time the Torah mentions about a damage, this is shir, which the Torah says, v'chiyigaf shir es ish elias isha, when the ox gores either a man or a woman. And the second time in Parshas Mishpatim, what does it say? V'chi yiftach ish beir, which if a man goes and opens up a pit. That's why, if you look in the Seder of the Mishnah, it says shir beir, mava v'hever. Why? Because that's the way it is in Torah. The first thing the Torah speaks about, ki yigach shir ishas isha, and the second time speaks about ki yiftach ish es beir. That's what Rashi says. Now, Mishnah goes on and says, Loi harei hasher kaharei hamav. Now, the question is, why does the Torah have to tell me four different categories that if a person damages either with his shade, or his bar, or his mav with a hever, that he's going to be chayiv for the damage? Why does the Torah have to tell me that? So that's what the Mishnah says. Loi harei hasher kaharei hamav. The categories, the similarities of a shir are not like mav, and the Gemara will explain what this means. So Sher has a certain chumrah over Maveh, and therefore, if the Torah would only write Sher, I would not tell me that if the din is by Sher Azay, the same thing would be by Maveh. That's why the Torah has to tell me about Maveh. Now, and the strictness of Maveh has a certain strictness over Sher, that if the Torah would only write about Maveh, I would not be able to learn out the halachas of Sher as well. Now, and Sher and Maveh, however you're going to learn Sher, whether Sher is like Rav says, or like Shmuel says, or Maveh, they have a certain stringency, a certain characteristics over the other. So, why can the Torah not just write Sher and Maveh? Torah can write Sher and Maveh, sheyesh bahen ruach chaim, because they have a living spirit that causes the damage. So there's an extra chumrah. Kahareya eish, like, for example, fire. Fire is more lenient, she'en beruach chaim, which there's no spirit of life. There's no living spirit that causes damage, and therefore, you can't learn out eish from Sher and Maveh. And therefore, the Torah has to write also by Maveh. Now, Sher, Maveh, and eish are more chumrah than Beir, shedarkon leilach alahazik, because it's the derech of, let's say, a shur goes out to damage somebody. Maveh as well, it's going out to damage somebody. Eish as well, it's going towards the damage. It's on the run of damaging somebody. Mashenkin Beir is not going and progressively damaging somebody. If somebody falls into Beir, so then it hurts them. If you stay away from the Beir, it won't hurt. So therefore, that's what the Torah has to tell me 4 different types of nizikin. Now, even though there's different types of ovis, nevertheless, there is a tzad hashava. Number 1, a tzad hashava shebehen. The common denominator between this is shedark lahazik, and there's a typical manner to cause damage. It causes damage, and shmirason alecha, and the responsibility for shmira to prevent them from causing damage is upon the person, and the owner of the animal, or let's say the generator of the fire or the pit, is chayav for damaging. And ukeshehizik, and when any of these categories causes damage, of hamazik l'shalan tashlumi nezek, the person who caused the damage is obligated to pay restitution for the damage if he's paying from his property, if he made the bars for the best quality of the land. So just to recap again, the Mishnah, it's important to have the fundamentals of this Mishnah clear so that we can appreciate the Gemara. So the Mishnah started off and said, Arba, obvious Nezikin, are 4 primary obvious Nezikin, which we said, this is what the Torah tells us clearly. Either the pasuk of, we said, V'chiyigach sher isha is isha, or V'chiyitach ish ber, and the Gemara will explain the other 2 obvious. Now, what are sher? So we said, Machlikas Rav and Shmuel, Rav will tell you, a sher is Keren, Shen, and Regel. Shmuel will tell me that Sher is just Regel, or everybody agrees this is Pit. Maveh, when it comes to the category of Maveh, so Rav will tell you it's a new category of when the person damages. Ashenk and Shmuel will tell you Maveh is Shein. And then you have V'ahever, this is the fire. Now, based on Rav, how many obvious do you really have in this Mishnah? 6. You have 6. Why? Because Shein, what's Shein? Sher is Keren, Shen, and Regel. What's Maveh? So Beir, that's 4. Maveh, we said, according to Rav, is a new type of damage. It's a damage when the person damages. And then you have Hever, which is fire. So that's, according to Rav, you have 6 primary categories of what he holds the Torah clearly about. Mashenkin, according to Shmuel is going to say, Shmuel touches up Sher means Regel. Oh, well, Sher means Regel. So I only have 1. I have the half of Regel. Beir, everybody agrees. Maveh, Shmuel says this is Shein. So, and Hever, everybody agrees is fire. That means, according to Shmuel will hold that Keren doesn't speak. There's no Keren in Torah. There's no half of a Keren, and there's no Adam Hamazik in Torah. It's just some. We'll learn about this tomorrow. But according to Rav, it comes out you have 6 primary things, and according to Shmuel, you only have 4.
What's Adam Hamazik? Anything a person does?
And yeah, either he damages his money damages. That's Adam Hamazik. Yeah. The first from ask also, like, what are you saying, Arba? Like, I can't count 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's okay. We'll discuss that as well. I think it's
break to Shmuel. to that, but to sit out and sit, you listen with why Zambo.
Right. No. So Rav's going to tell you. Very good. But Rav's going to tell you that when it says shade, sement, sure means these three things. It's like we want to concise the Mishnah. We want to concise the Mishnah. Sure means Ken and Shem Dadak. Okay. So now the Gemara says, "Yeah, clear, good, okay." Now, and then the last thing we said is that the tzalashava between this is that first of all these they damage, and the person, the owner, has to guard them. And if they go ahead and damage, he has to pay to the best of us. So now the Gemara says, okay, so when you call somebody a father, you don't call somebody who's married a father. When they have a child, you call them a father. So Mishnah says like this. The Gemara says this. The fact that the Mishnah says, Ovais nizikin, the fathers of damages, mechlal, so you derive from here the ikatuldas. If you're saying that these are the fathers of the damages, so that means that there are children. What does that mean, children? That are not clearly written in the Torah. Rather, we say that they're similar to the Av. So why are you not calling it an Av? Because only thing, like Rashi says, what's clearly written in the Torah, that's an Av. What's not written in the Torah is a Tulda. So now the question is, the Gemara has a question, Tulda saying, when I say the Tuldas of these Aves, are they Kayetzaban? Are they like the Av, which means that just like the Av, you're chayav for Tashlumi Nezek, as well, you're also chayav for Tashlumi Nezek, which all the Mefarshim, the Achrenim, the Brisker Rav, everybody goes crazy. What does that mean? If they're not a Tulda, meaning, what's the Gemara's question? The Gemara's question is, are they saying Kayetzaban or Lav Kayetzaban? Which means, in practical, that when the Tulda damages, is a person going to be chayav to pay or not chayav to pay? So the question is, if they're not chayav to pay, why are you calling it a Tulda? Okay, that's Achrenim digs it with. But the Pashta Shala is, when you say Tulda Sam, when you call it Tuldas of these Avis, do they have the same chiyuv like the Av that they're chayav to pay or not? Now, the Gemara explains like this. The Gemara is going to bring two rayas, a raya from Shabbos and the raya from Tumah that I see sometimes Tulda Sam K'yetzaban and sometimes Tulda Sam Lav K'yetzaban. So now the question is, by Avis Nezikin, do they have by the Tuldas of the Avis, do they have the same din or not? So now the Gemara explains, Gabi Shabbos. Now we learned a famous Mishnah Daf Ayin Gimel Amud Aleph. The Mishnah says like this: Aves Malaches are born b'chasr afas. We know there are 49 minus 1 Aves Malaches. There are 39 Aves Malaches. Now, and the Gemara says over there, Aves, the fact that we're calling these Malaches Aves, Michlal the Ika Tuldes. It must be that there are children, there are derivatives. Now, over there, Tulda is saying, over there, a Tulda of a Malach of Shabbos is like the Av. If a person goes ahead and is over a Tulda of, let's say, Malachas Riyah, he's chayiv he's chayiv on the Malacha. And therefore, Lo Yishna Av, Chatas, there's no difference if, God forbid, somebody is over B'shegeg, a Malacha, he's going to have to bring a Karmen Chatas, Lo Yishna Tulda, Chatas. And there's no difference if the person is over a Av, let's say he's over Zriyah. And then it came to the Charisha, he's over the Tulda of Charisha. So, he's going to be chayiv a Karmen Chatas for the Av and for the Tulda. And Loishna Av Skila, Loishna Tulda the Skila. And as well, if he goes ahead and does it on purpose, let's say without Asra, so he's going to be chayiv Skila if he's over the Av and he's over the Tulda. So the Gemara asks, so if you're telling me that a person is going to be chayiv the Tulda and the Av, so what's the practical difference between the two? So the Gemara says, the difference between an Av and a Tulda is, if a person is going to go ahead and be over two Aves Malachis, Behelim Echad, which means he doesn't know that it's Shabbos today, Inami, or Shtei Tuldas, or let's say he forgot that it's Shabbos, and he's over two different Malachis, which are Tuldas, so the halacha is Mechayiv Kol Chada V'Chada. He's going to be Chayiv for every single Malacha by itself. Now, however, the Ilu Avad Av Tulda Didei, if let's say he's going to be Chayiv a Tulda, and let's say he's over a Av, and he's over the Tulda of that specific Av, what's the din? He's only going to be Chayiv one Av. Now, so what do we see from here? I see that there's a big difference in Shabbos to know about an Av and a Tulda. If I'm going to, I have to know what an Av and a Tulda is. Why? Because if I do them, if one is over a Av, and let's say it's Tulda, the Behelim Echad, which means he doesn't know it's Shabbos, and he's over a Av and a Tulda. But at the tool is under the same av, he's going to be chayiv only one karban chatas. So,
it has to be the same and the same folder.
Yeah. So he's going to chayiv two. No, but the point is, what's the Gemara trying to bring out from there?
And that's what they want.
So what do we see from here? It comes out that in regards... Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that's what we're going to get there. So basically, we see in regards to Shabbos that there's a chilek chatas, that there's a difference between an av and a tulda. I have to know if I'm over an av at a different tulda, I'm chayiv two. If I'm over an av at its tulda, I'm chayiv one. So tuldas make a big difference. Now, nowadays it doesn't make a difference because we don't have the Beis Hamikdash. But we're talking about in the times of the Beis Hamikdash. Now, the Gemara says, Rabbi Eliezer has a shita that he disagrees with everybody, and he says even behelam echad, even when a person's over on Shabbos with not knowing that it's Shabbos, he's over on Av and it's tulda, he's only going to be chayiv for the Av and the tulda, even the same thing, even the same one. So the question is, am I currently Av, am I currently tulda? So why are you calling it an Av? Why are you calling it a tulda? So now the Gemara says this. Even according to him, even though there's no chilek in the halachas, nevertheless, you should know. The ones which are listed that are chashiv in the Mishkan. In other words, where do we get the 39 malachas from? Doesn't say it in the Torah. So we say, those work that was done in the Mishkan, that's called Av. It's called Av Malacha. And half the you have a Mishkan, and one that's not written in the Mishkan, that was not done in the Mishkan, Karle Tulda. That's what we call it a Tulda. Okay? So either according to Bava Kamah, there's a difference between Av and its Tulda Didei, or according to Rabbi Eliezer, whatever the Torah, whatever happened in the Mishkan work, that's what is called an Av, and whatever did not happen in the Mishkan, but it's similar to the Av, that I call it a Tulda.
No practical difference.
No practical difference. No practical difference at all. Just listening. Now, so I see, and Allah Shabbos, there's a difference between Av and Tulda. It's relative. I have to know what Av, I have to know what Tulda is. Now, the Gemara brings a second raya. We say, okay, so we're on the last line, right? Gabe Tumis. It says, Gabe Tumis Tanan, in the halachas of impurity, Tumantara, we learned in the Mishnah. This is a Mishnah in Kalim that says, Ovis Hatumois. It says like this: there are primary impurities, tumas. What are the primary impurities? Number one, Hasheretz, which means the creeping animal. So there are 8 shratzim, which are mentioned in Pasha Shmini, and if they die, if somebody touches these ovis, if somebody touches a Shmini Sheretz, one of the 8 animals, he becomes a Avatuma. You have Avia Vesatuma, and then you have a Avatuma. So, if somebody touches Avia Vesatuma, he becomes Tomei and becomes Av Atuma. That's in regards to Sheretz. The same thing is Shikma Zera. Somebody who is a Shikma who now emits Zera, he also becomes Av Atuma. And the third case is that Beis Amid Beis, Utmei Meis, a person who touches a dead person. So the dead person, he is Avia Vesatuma. If somebody touches this dead person, he becomes an Av Atuma. Now, what's the difference? So the Gemara says like this: anybody who touches a Av Atuma becomes what do you call him? You call him now, he becomes a Tulda. So for example, Tulda, Rishon Latuma. So let's take the last example. Here's the dead person. The tissue touches the dead person. This tissue now is what? Av Malacha. Av Atuma. This tissue now touches, let's say, this chumash. This chumash now becomes a Tulda called Rishon Latulda. Now, over there, what do I see? I see like this. I see in the case of the halachas of Tuma, lav ke'etzaban. The din of a Tulda is not like the Av. Why? Why not? The ilu Av mitame adam mekelim. By the Av, here's the tissue, which is the Av Atuma. If it touches now, let's say, kelim, adam and kelim, so then that adam and kelim will become a Rishon Atuma. The ilu toldes. Now, but let's say the Tulda that touched the Av, that will be metama oichlun mashke metame. So this, let's say, okay, here you have the Av Atuma, here are the tissues. This is now a Rishon Atuma or Tulda. If this Tulda touches Adam and Kalim, so it will make the Adam and Kalim tummy. The ilu Tulda, sorry, and oichel mashka tummy. It will touch oichel mashka will make it tummy. A kalim and kalim, other kalim let me tummy. Mashenke, if let's say the ava tuma now touches the rishon tuma, this rishon tuma cannot make other kalim will not make it tummy. So what's the point of the Gemara? Now the question is, I see in regards to Tuma that told us saying is lav kietzuben. I see by Shabbos that I have to know the difference between Tulda and Ahab. So now the question over here, what do? Is the Tulda of the Aves kietzuben or lav kietzuben? So that's the Gemara's question. Question is, hacha mai. Right, fourth line. Question is now, what do I do over here? So when a Baba says, yesh man kietzuben, yesh man lav kietzuben, it depends. Some Tuldas Nezikin are like the Aves, and some are not, and this is basically the Masechta. This is many of the Dapim of the Gemara. We're going to discuss now if the Tuldas is Kietzuben or not Kietzuben. Correct, yeah. Depends on the situation. Okay, now, the Gemara is going to explain when a Papa says, we're going to discuss now, till we say Kietzuben and not Kietzuben. But, in order to understand this, the Gemara is now going to bring the Brisa, to dissect now the Mekatis of, he's saying that whatever is written in the Torah, this is an Av. And when it's not written in the Torah, it's a Tola. So now the Gemara brings a Brisa. Tana Rabbanan, we learned in a Brisa, Gimel or Sholish, Oves, Nemru, B'Sheir. That when the Mishnah says, Sheir, that one of the Oves Malachis is a Sheir, that means three things. Number one, it means Keren. It means when an animal gores with his horns, or Bashen, when an animal eats with his teeth, Ve'aregel, or an animal damages with his feet. So now the question was like this: Keren minalad. Where do I know that Keren is midei naisa? He says like this: Tana Rabbanan, we learned in our Brisa, the Torah says in Pashtu Mishpatim, it says Ki Yigach, which the pasuk is Ki Yigach Sher es Isha if the ox gores a man or a woman. Okay, now. When the Torah says negicha, it means keren. How do we know the Torah? How do we know that negicha is keren? He says, "Shenamar," like it says. This is a pasuk in Malachim. The pasuk says, "Vayasleit Tzidkiyon ben Kenani karnei bazra." It says that Tzidkiyon. Tzidkiyon, who was the Vayasleit Tzidkiyon ben Kenani, he was the son of Kenani. What did he make? He made Karnei Barzel, horns of iron. And he said, Hashem, so said Hashem, Aram, with these you shall bore the Aram, the Armenians. Now, and also it says, his firstborn bull, majesty is his, the Karnei De'im Karnav, and his horns are the horns of the wild ox, with them he shall bore the nations. Now, what's this pasuk referring to? This pasuk is speaking about the Tzidkiyahu. He was the Nevi Baal, and he made a prophecy in front of Achab, who's Melech Yisrael, that Hashem is going to give them Aram biyadam. So what did he say? He said, Vayasle Tzidkiyahu, he made Karnei Barzel, horns of iron. And what did he say? He said about the horns, Tinagad Saram. You should. So what do we see? I see that when it comes to Negicha is associated with Keren. So where's the mucker of Negicha? Where's the mucker of Keren Deraisa? Ki Yigach. Yigach means goring, yeah. But goring, Yigach is associated with Keren. So I see that Keren is Deraisa. Now, what's another brew? V'char Sharei Hadarlai, right? With Karnei De'im Kanav, V'hamilagach. So I see, when it speaks about Negicha, when it speaks about the horns, it associates horns in Negicha. So now the Gemara asks on the Brisa, my V'emer, why does the Torah have to bring me a pasuk and saying like this? You bring a pasuk from Malachim, which is Tanakh, and then you bring a pasuk from Parshas Zezah Bracha B'cher Shari. Question is why? What's wrong with the pasuk? So that's the question now. The question is, my V'emer, why does the Brisa have to say and so? So the question is and the Gemara says, if you're going to answer me, very simple. Divrei Torah v'divrei Kabbalah, you can't learn out. We're asking a Makar Mideret Isa, and you're saying that because Yigach means Keren. How do I know that Negicha and Keren have association? From a pasuk of Divrei Kabbalah. It doesn't work that way. So maybe you're going to answer me, Divrei Kabbalah, Divrei Teda, Divrei Kabbalah Leofinan. Toshma, therefore I'm going to bring your raya from Teda, Bechor Shore, Adrali. Oh, so why does it bring both? So that's a good question. So now, but the point is, the Gemara now rejects this possibility that the reason why you bring a second pasuk was cited because the first pasuk that I bring, which is a stronger pasuk, is telling me that that goring has to do with the horns. Why? Because I can tell you this: Gilei Milsa B'Amli. It's just like the disclosure of the matter. The Negicha B'Keren. It's not telling me the pasuk is not telling me that Negicha means Keren. It's just telling me that you should know that Negicha is performed with the horn. So the pasuk in Nevi'im can certainly serve as a mucker for the milsa. So the question is, why do you have to say Ba'emer? Ella, rather, the reason why the Bryce has to say a second pasuk is, as Mao, the Tema, you would say, when does the Torah distinguish between a tam and a mud? Now, what's a tam and what's a mud? So everybody knows we learn this a cheder. Tam is basically if an animal gores 3 times, so the owner has to pay a chatzi nezek. Once the animal gores a 4th time, it goes into the category of a mud, and now there's different halachas of a mud. There's some Shalom Akel, other mud oilam. But the point is like this: by animal, there's an animal. The first time he gores, he's called a tam, and the 4th time he's called a mud. So I would think that where do I say that there's a difference between tam and mud? Is hani milabit plusha? Is if an animal, let's say, damages caused by a detached horn, like the story of Tzidkiyahu. So if an animal held, let's say, a detached horn in its mouth and damaged with it, so I would say, okay, that there's a difference between tam and mud. But let's say an animal that has horns attached to and gores, I would say I would say that an animal is always a mu'id, and its owner is tired to pay for all the damages as from day one. So therefore, Tashma, that's why the Brisa brings the Tanner brings the Brisa brings the raya of his firstborn bull, majesty to his, to tell us that there we're talking about when the horns are attached to the animal, and the Tanner is telling me that there's still going to be a difference between a tam and a mud. So what do I see from here? That when an ox scores with its own horns, there's going to be a distinction between if it's a tam or it's a mud. And that's why the Brisa is to bring a second proof. Okay, so now we established like this. Just to recap, we asked the question: why does it say? We asked the question: Keren, where's the mucker of Keren? So we said the mucker of Keren is midiraisa, because the pasuk in Parshas Mishpatim says ki yigach shein es isha sereu es isha or es isha, and negicha means Keren. How do we know negicha means Keren? From the pasuk of Melachim. Why do I have to bring the pasuk of Melachim? Bring a pasuk of Zayza Bracha as well, because I would think that, okay, if you're bringing a raya from Melachim over there, he was talking about when the horn is detached from the animal. So I would say, so if it's detached from the animal, okay, there's a difference between tam and mud. Mashengen, if the horn is attached, I would say that always there's a mud. So therefore, B'chor Shar Adel, know there's going to be a difference and he's still a tam. So now that I established that Ken is Midiraisa, so the question is, Tulda de Ken and Mayi. So what is the subcategory of goring? What is it? What is the gore? You're saying that Shein is Keren, Shen Veregel. In Keren, I have to know what the tuldas are. So the question is like this: Tulda de Keren Mayi. So he says like this. First of all, Negifa, when the animal pushes somebody, or Neshicha, if the animal bites somebody, or Revitza, if the animal crouches upon items with the objective, whose whole kavanah is to inflict damage. Ubeita and kicking. So that's going to be a tulda of Keren. So first of all, why are you calling Negifa like this? We said that Negifa, what's Negifa? Negifa is goring, and Negifa is pushing. So you said like this: Negifa, that you're calling Negifa goring a av. Why? Because it says it explicitly in the Torah. So the question is, Ma'ishva Negifa the Kor Av. Why is Negifa called the av? The Ksiv, because it says Kiyikach. Kiyigach, because it says clearly Kiyigach when it gores. So the question is, Negifa nami ksiv Kiyigach. Negifa, also it says Kiyigach, right? The pasuk says Kiyigach shar ish esher ne'eu. The Torah also calls negifa in the Torah pushing. So why is negifa not considered av? So the Gemara answers like this: Hi negifa over there in Malachim. When the Torah uses the expression negifa, you should know it means negichi. It means goring. The Tanya with under the Brisa, pasach b'negifa, b'siyim b'negicha. The Torah starts off speaking about goring and concludes the pasuk negicha. Right? The Torah starts. Sorry, negifa. The Torah starts pasach b'negifa ki yigav shern ish, and then is Messiah in the same pasuk oyneida ki shar ragafu. Why does the Torah start with negifa and then end with negicha? I have to tell you, it's doing negifa. That you should know, negifa is the same thing. Your question was that I see that negifa is exclusive to Torah, so why not include us out? Negifa means negicha over there. So the question is, okay, so why is it that when I speak about, in the beginning of the pasuk, I speak about the, so why is it when it comes to an act scoring a person, I say ki yigach? When ki yigach ish, ki yigach sher is isha. Why do I call it negicha? And why in regards to behema do I use the expression ki yigach? If both of them means negicha, so be consistent. Why what?
Yeah, why?
Why negifa? If negifa means negicha, so yeah. So it says like this. Interesting answer. Adam, by a person, the isli mazala. By a person that he has mazel. Rashi says two explanations. Either mazel means a person has seichel, which means if he sees an animal, he's able to divert very quickly, or he has a malach that's helping him. So Adam, the isli mazala of a person, he has, like, say, this seichel to defend himself, so he's not so easily injured. So ksiv ki yigach. So therefore, the Torah uses a very, very intense term when I ask scores, which indicating that when I ask scores at a person, in order to get a hold of him, to damage him, he has to go with greater force. So therefore, he uses the lashon ki yigach. Behema, but mashenken by behema, the less than mazala, an animal does not have this mazel. Ksiv ki yigach. So that's why it says ki yigach. Indicating that when an animal damages another animal with the horns, the goring, it's not as fierce, the attack. So the term yigaif is related to the term magef, which means plague.
Yeah, intelligence
or Rashi says a different explanation. Because a person could avoid an animal. So I was talking on Shabbos. It's like you would think now in 2023 you don't need to bring in foot soldiers anymore. Oh, go bring in robots. Go bring. Like why b'chlal these days with all the technology we have foot soldiers? Although there's a muzzle that no machine, nobody could do. It's not really AI, nothing. Okay. Now another thing is as well. The Torah also uses the term teach us a matter in passing. In other words, the Torah says negicha by a person and negicha by a ox. Why? Why? Because the effort required for an ox to gore a person to death, he said, is greater than the effort for an ox to gore another animal to death. Now, and therefore, what? So let's see. The muad the adam, and the muad the behema. When somebody, an animal's a muad, is in English a forewarned animal. Is a muad. So once he's established as a muad the adam, he's muad the behema. However, a muad the behema, just because he's a muad the behema, Levin with Adam. Dafke is forewarned with regards to that person. Why? Because it's a lot. He has to concentrate and work a lot harder to hurt a person than to hurt an animal. Okay. Now the Gemara said that the shicha, what's a tool of keren? What's it when the Torah says shape? One of the shir means keren, and keren is deidaisa. What's a derivative of keren? So we said the first derivative is negifa. And then the second thing we said is neshicha, is biting. What's it? Shicha, biting is a tool of the shenu. Biting is a tool of shame, not a tool of keren. So the Gemara says loy. No. Shane, when I say about the tool of shame, that's yesh hanala zeka. When the animal, there's a pleasure for the animal in the course of causing the damage, so then I call that a tool of shame. But over here when I say neshicha, that's ein hanala zeka. There's no intrinsic pleasure for the animal in the course of the damage that it causes when the ox bites forcefully. So, Nachamon. Shame is when it's Hano, Neshicha, when we say Neshicha is a tulda of Keren, that's when Ein, there's no Hano. He's biting for the sake of biting. He is going. Hano, not like he's enjoying, he's pushing biting for the sake of biting. Yeah, he's eating it, he's driving pleasure, yeah. Okay, so now the Gemara says, we're almost done. Revitzo beita, so we said like this, kicking, crouching and kicking, so we're saying it's a tulda of Keren. Right? It's about a tulda de regoli. It's a subcategory of trampling, as the animal crouches by bending his legs and kicks his feet. So l'cheda, revita and beita should be a tulda of regel. The Gemara says, loy, regel, what's regel? Regel is hezekim matzi. When I say that Keren, the share is, according to Shmurav, we say that regel is the damage that's in a common place. This is caused in the course of the animal's walking. Hani, if he's crouching and kicking, we're talking about ein hezekim matzi. The damage is not commonplace, as animals do not typically kick or crouch upon utensils. So when I say in the Bryce over here that it's a derivative, it's a tulda of Keren, it's talking about that it's not, this hezek is not matzi. So now, crouching on Kalim. I think scratching your back, it's you have pleasure, and the Gemara's going to get into it. Okay, so after, now we cited told us, listed the Brisa, so the question is like this. So we asked about a papa, Ella told they say in Lav Keitzman, I'm going to papa. So now the question is like this. A papa says, remember on the top, he said, Yesh ben Keitzman, Yesh ben Lav Keitzman. Okay, so Keitzman, I have many Keitzman. So the question is, what will be an example of a told the Lav Keitzman? So the Gemara says this: if you say it's reference to the case, let's say of goring, of negicha. So ma'ishna Keren. So what's the difference in that by Keren the kavanosei lahazik? You're saying like this: by Keren, what Keren, and you're saying is first of all it's kavanosei lahazik. You have it's the objective of the ox action is to damage. Number two, u'mimaincha. And the ox is your property. And number three, shmira selacha. And the responsibility of shmira is on you to prevent others to prevent this animal from causing damage. So haninami l'cheda, this too, in the case let's say of goring, pushing, biting, crouching. Also, first of all, it's kavanah selahazik. The objective is for the ox who wants to cause damage, and it's your property, shmira selacha. And the safeguarding is on you to prevent them from damaging. So the question is, Ella, so when I say tell the same, what's going on over? Ella, tell the Keren, Keren. Rather, the Gemara says that the subcategory of goring is like the primary, it's like the obvious of goring. Papa, and this is what Papa says. So they say in Lav Kietzman, he's not going on the Av of Keren, but rather he's going on Shen Vereg, eating and trampling. Okay, so tonight, in Hashem, we'll get into Shen Vereg.